Nobody likes a micromanager. It's one of the chief complaints that we get from leaders that we work with at any level of the team. It's super frustrating to be micromanaged, and yet when we're put in a position of leadership, oftentimes you don't look at it as micromanagement. As a U.S. Navy SEAL platoon commander, I learned these lessons the hard way on the battlefield, and I had to come back and teach the next generation of SEAL leaders how not to make the same mistakes that I made. If you can stick around at the end of this video, you will learn how to solve this problem of micromanagement so that you and your team can be more effective and accomplish your mission and win. As we're thinking about this problem of micromanagement, it's important to realize that there is a framework that you can follow that will get this problem solved. The first step in this framework to solve the problem of micromanagement is let your team take the initiative. If you've been dictating every aspect of the plan, if you've been giving explicit directives to your team, they're not going to want to do this. They're going to wait for you to tell them what to do because that's what they know and that's what you've trained them to do. This is going to be very difficult to do if you're the one with the experience and you're the one that has made sure that your team has been successful. So you're going to have to give them as much initiative as you can. You need to take an iterative step in that direction by starting with something small and let them come up with a plan, but give them the overall goal, the end state that you want to achieve, and ask them how they want to solve the problem, how they want to take on the project, to come back to you with a plan of how they want to execute. That will start to open their mind so that they start to think about how best to solve a problem instead of just waiting to be told what to do. The second thing you need to think about when you're trying to solve this problem of micromanagement is creating buy-in from the team. How do you create buy-in? You give people ownership. The more ownership that you can give them, the more buy-in they're gonna have. If I dictate every aspect of a plan and tell you how to do things and I'm looking over your shoulder, it's very hard for me to, even if I explain the why, even if I talk about why this is, based on my experience, is the best way to execute this problem, my team's gonna have no ownership. So in order to create buy-in, you have to give them ownership. Ask them how they want to solve problems. Show them the end state you need to achieve. This is the mission we're trying to accomplish. This is our goal. How do you want to solve that problem? And the more ownership you give them, the more buy-in they're gonna have. So when they encounter a problem, they're gonna get that problem solved. They are invested in the success of that plan, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to make that plan successful. So now that you've let them take the initiative and you've created buy-in, the next thing you have to do is to free your team up to be creative. Let them come up with ideas. Encourage their input. And this is going to be very hard to do. If you've been micromanaging them, if they've been dependent on you to come up with all the plans, they're probably going to be a little reluctant to throw out some ideas. And when they do throw out ideas, don't smash those ideas down. Instead of criticizing, ask some questions so that you can better understand how their plan might work, and go with their plan as much as you possibly can. If they come up with an 80% solution, then let's go with their plan so that we can run with this team, get this team going in there with ownership and get them executing. And this will encourage them to take more ownership and come up with greater ideas so they can be even more creative into how to solve problems going forward. If you smash their ideas down, if you criticize them, what that's going to result in is no one giving any input whatsoever and just simply falling back and waiting on you to solve all of their problems. And a team that's waiting on you is a team that can't grow because you have to be looking over their shoulder all the time, dictating everything, which means you can't get promoted up the chain, your team can't grow, you're not creating leaders on the team that are coming up with solutions to problems. You're stifling your team's ability to perform, and you're preventing your team from reaching their potential. So what are you gonna do to solve this problem? This week, try this. Instead of micromanaging or dictating a plan or putting out the word to your team, ask them how they think they should solve a problem. Give them ownership of a plan or a strategy. And instead of criticizing their plan, ask questions so that they can make some adjustments to come up with an effective solution that you can then let them go and implement. If you do these things, you're gonna go from a micromanager to a good leader who lets their team step up and lead. Remember, leadership is a skill. It's not something that you can just read a book or watch a video and all of a sudden you're the perfect leader that never makes mistakes or never has issues or never has tendencies, or you're able to counter those tendencies. This is something that takes practice, it takes work, it takes initiative on your part. But if you are focusing on becoming a better leader and you're working daily to improve your leadership skills, you're gonna create a team of leaders at every level that solves problems, that gets things done, and that enables you to lead so that your team can win.